Live.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Good morning,
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hello,
John.
Hi,
What's going on, my friends? We've
Hey,
got
John.
hey, good to see you
Hi,
all.
John.
We've
Hi,
got
John.
some fun today.
Hey,
We've got joining us live. We've got, of course, Esther and Tom. Good to see you, Tom. Howard, there's Stephen, Carolyn. Welcome, CJ. Good to see you. Of course, Adrian's here, enlightening us with his statistics. Ethnic Graham, welcome, Jamie. Hey, guys, welcome. So glad you're here. Hey, Talisa. So we're going to go ahead and have a fun conversation today about creating order in our space. In fact, you know what? Let me do this. Because so many times you guys see me sitting in this exact spot. Like, you guys know my office as well as I do. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mute all my. So you guys get to see me in my natural habitat. I made a funny comment. I think it was funny anyway. When we had Adrian was traveling apparently, and so he was not in his natural habitat. He was sitting on a different couch, and I was just wondering if you guys have set up a space where you get the most done. Like, this is your workspace. I got some theories on this. I want to hear about it, but we're all being so productive here, it seems, right? With all this very intentional conversation. I'm going to drag Adrian out here for a minute. Adrian, I'm going to ask you to come out here, and I want you to tell me about how you manage your space, because I think that is an important thing. At least it has been in my life. Adrian, what do you do? Is like that your work zone, and then like you only work there, you never work anywhere else? Like, that's your spot, or do you work from the road? What's the story?
This is my spot.
That's your spot.
It's my spot. I'm on it all the time.
Right.
I check my phone every day to see how it goes, but this is my spot where I am.
Right. Okay. Now, do you find that, and thank you for letting me lean on you a bit here, do you find that helps you create order? Like, this is my workspace and work happens here. Is that an orderly thing?
Because it's in my bedroom and we're in a 2 up, 2 down, 2 down, 3 up. I'm on my own. Nobody comes up, bothers me. They just leave me to it where they do their own things downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I do it. It's just space, and it's quiet.
Right. Okay. So you get to focus. Very, very instructive. Thank you, Adrian, for your feedback on that. I do the same. So it's an interesting thing, and this is something that I think will help for a conversation that keeps coming up, is how do we create essentially more productivity in less time, right? How do we be more productive in less time? How do we create, in essence, order in our mental space and in our physical space? This is a big thing, and I wanted to kick off the week with just a few notes about this, so we can have this, I think, a very productive week moving forward. So here's something that I have noticed, is that if I assign a place, a specific spot in my house as my workspace, then when I'm in that space and others in the household are conditioned to me being in that space, I get more done in less time. I know a lot of you, we got a lot of parents, we got grandparents on here. We got people who, one of our goals may be that we want location freedom. Like, I can work from anywhere, and I can. In my case, I run my whole business off of this computer, multiple businesses off of this computer and my iPhone. In fact, if I had to pick one device, it would be my Mac. That's it. Like, I pick up my phone every now and then. It's in my pocket, whatever. I guess if I'm driving or something, it's hooked up to the car. But for the most part, it's me and this screen right here. Now, does that sound limiting? I think not. Here's the challenge, though, is that if all I do is look at this screen for all kinds of different things, and I'm in the spot for all different purposes, then I could start to commingle work and distractions, right? Lots of different things that aren't going to bear fruit. My suggestion is to compartmentalize not only the physical space, but what you do in that space, so you can have, definiteness of purpose. You can get things done, A to B, right? Start, stop, start, stop. If we say that the anatomy of success itself is completing what you start, and thereby the anatomy of failure would be not completing what you start, then every time I sit down to this machine in this spot, it should be with a purpose. Now, we just heard a little bit before in the pre-meeting, we heard a little bit about pay-per-click advertising. Okay, that's another topic which those of you going through the Jetstream process, you're going to be learning a bit more about that. And that's a pretty vast topic, by the way. I know some people, when they first hear pay-per-click advertising, they think paperclip, like a paperclip. No, pay per click. So pay per click advertising. So somebody clicks and you pay. I will pay such and such amount of money for that customer to click on my item. Okay. That's been going on for a long time on the internet, pay per click advertising. So that's something you could do. And let's say that you were looking to get a campaign going, like what Adrian was just describing. What I would suggest is that you set a time where you do your research, and this is a compartmentalized thing. Like, I'm going to do my pay-per-click study. I'm going to do my research or set up my campaign or whatever it is. And this is the time that I have to do it. Remember back when we were, some of you remember this. You guys remember when I shared my calendar with everyone? I showed you how I manage my time. A couple of you remember that. Kim, I think you were around for that. Maybe Carol, Ethne, I don't know if you were around for that. Adrian, I don't think you were either. But this was a thing where I decided, you know what? So many people wanted to learn about time management. Here's what I do to manage the activities throughout my day, because people sometimes wonder, how do I get so much done? For me, this is my reality. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. And therefore, if it is on my calendar, it is going to happen exactly on time. And that's just something that I've had to condition myself to do. Those of you who've read my first book, you know that I used to be chronically late, like late all the time for everything. It was terribly disrespectful. Now that I think about it, right? Sometimes people would wait a long time for me to show up. Like I'm like the King Farouk or something. And, we all got to wait on John. That's how I lived. I just had no respect for my time or for other people's time. And so then I realized, oh my goodness, what an a-hole I've been. Me, look at me, right? Okay, I'm the problem. So let me go ahead and fix that, right? I became very prompt, very prompt. You guys know our policy around here is if you can't be on time, be early, right? So great, let me do that then. And like everything started to change in my life. One little shift. What allows me to do that? What allows me to do that is creating order on my calendar and putting myself in a spot where I won't be disturbed. People in my household know that when I'm in this spot and that door is closed, I mean, unless the building's on fire or something, there's really nothing to talk about, right? Similarly, and this is just really a question of focus, right? This whole conversation that I'm introducing here to you guys is a conversation about focus. I have let's say I have a customer. I'm doing some consulting, right? Meeting with a customer. There could be all kinds of hell breaking loose on my email inbox and, bing and bong and everything going on my phone, right? All I know is that conversation I'm in right now. I am laser focused on serving that person. Now, I'm not bragging. I'm not saying, oh, look at how great I am. I'm just letting you know this is my operating strategy, and it's produced millions. I would like for you to produce very nicely as well, right? So here's the myth, according to John. The myth is multitasking. I don't believe there is such a thing as multitasking. At least I haven't observed it in my life. I've observed shifting my focus to that, back to that, not done, lots of not dones. What do we say the anatomy of failure is? Not completing what you start. Oh boy, right? Lots of not dones. My favorite 4-letter word is done. So if I compartmentalize and I say, you know what, I am laser focused on that, and that's what I'm going to get done, and this is the space that I'm going to do it in, I've got a much better shot of actually putting fruit on the tree. There was a guy named Ivy Lee. I told the story before, maybe a couple months ago. You may not have heard of Ivy Lee, but he went to visit another guy who you probably heard of, a guy named Charles Schwab, the Charles Schwab, the guy who put together Bethlehem Steel. He was the cohort of Andrew Carnegie, the first billionaire, right? They're doing U.S. Steel and all this. And Charles Schwab is the guy who made the deal with J.P. Morgan to take on the biggest investment, the biggest business investment ever made. Okay, we're going back to the early 1900s now, but it was a big deal. Interestingly, Carnegie and J.P. Morgan didn't like each other so much, but Schwab made the deal. Anyway, so Charles Schwab became this very successful businessman. And one day in his office, he got a visit, a sales call, if you will, from this guy named Ivy Lee. Ivy Lee came in and said, Mr. Schwab, I've got an idea that will help you increase your productivity. And Schwab said, okay, well, show me the idea and I'll put it to use and I will pay whatever I think it's worth. And so Ivy Lee said, here's what you do, Mr. Schwab. Write down all of the tasks that you need to get done tomorrow. He wrote them down. He said, now number them in order of importance from 1 and then 2 and then whatever. So number them, prioritize them in number of importance. He did that. He said, great. Now tomorrow when you come into your office, you start with number 1 and you don't go to number 2 until number 1 is done. That's it. Went away, right? A couple months later, got a letter in the mail from Charles Schwab saying, from a business perspective, this was the best time management advice he had ever gotten, and enclosed a check for $20,000. Now, my friends, that's back when $20,000 meant something. Okay, what would that be worth now? 200 probably. So here's almost $250,000. Good idea. Thanks for sharing. All right. So productivity is so key. When you think about all the potential that we have in this or any business model, it's the same platform, it's the same opportunity, it's the same stuff, right? It's the same raw material for anyone. And I've often said, look, any bozo can show up and do Amazon, right? I'm interested in Adrian. I'm interested in Ethne, Gary, Carlene, right? Kim, why is Kim going to place herself head and shoulders above the masses, the dilettantes, right? The weekenders. That's what I'm interested in. Make a friggin' spectacle of yourself. How do you do that? You got to get focused. So the whole idea of multitasking, I think, is folly. And granted, we can observe, oh, here's the busy mom, let's say. Yes, and there's the kids and everything, but can you compartmentalize? Can you put in order in this area right here and say, okay, now look, in the household, and look, mom's doing this for the betterment of the whole family. Okay, when I'm here in this spot from this time to this time, it is laser focus, because we've got goals as a family. This is, by the way, the value of actually sharing your goals with people who are sympathetic with your purposes. My wife and my daughter do this all the time. My wife's in her office. She's got her spot. She closes the door. I won't even go in there. If I got to get something out of that room, I will go in there stealthily like a damn ninja, right? Like, nobody sees me, right? Too bad I don't have that cloak of invisibility like Harry Potter, right? Because that would be perfect. But it is laser focus. And guess what? Stuff gets done. The point is, my friends, we got to get stuff done. And none of us are immortal, at least not in terms of our bodies, right? So like, how much time do you have? When would now be a good time to get stuff done? Trick question, by the way. When would now be a good time to start? And look, anything that we can do to accelerate that process. I know some of you right now are learning about the advanced group, the accelerated program, which is huge and extremely limited. So if you're working with an accountability rep, work with that accountability rep, because extremely limited at this point. But you're learning about how to leverage not only Sophie's experience through everything you're learning in the Blue Sky course, but leverage the staff and experts and people who know things like pay-per-click advertising like the back of their hand. You know, I've had some people, and thank you, Adrian, for mentioning pay-per-click just before we went live here. Some people have, they confront that topic for the first time, and it's like a maze of random thought going on in their head. You got to put it in order. Here's the point, my friends. All success is orderly. If you're confused about something, then there's some words you don't understand in there, like the word pay-per-click, right? It's not paperclip, it's pay-per-click. Okay, so think about that. Anytime I have found myself unable to execute, unable to do the thing that I intend to do, is because I've got some words that I don't understand, that the teacher, the author, the speaker, they were saying some words to me. I don't get it. I don't know how to use it. One misunderstood word can take you out. I'm a bit of a stickler for this as an author and someone who's studied the written word and who believes that the greatest self-help book ever published is the dictionary. Oh my goodness, I get enlightenment every time I pick up that book. It is amazing. But as a person who is very interested in being able to do something with the education, I would implore you to create order in your mind by fully understanding each concept on an ever increasing gradient, and you can go faster and faster, and you become more and more competent. Competence and speed go together. Okay, so you want speed, you want to go fast, you want to list 10 million products like Adrian. Okay, we'll start with one, little ones, and you learn the process, right? And then you learn about the advertising. You're getting on page one. It's all very workable if there's order. Confusion sucks. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's the worst thing ever. I don't know what to do. Indecision. What do I do? You know, anytime that I found myself in a place of non-production, it's because I've had a question in the back of my mind. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. Should I? Maybe. Ooh, maybe's crazy, guys. There's yeses and there's nos. No maybes. No maybes. You can take this to the level of total psychosis. You see people in like mental institutions, they're stuck in a chronic maybe. Maybe. Can't make a decision. Right? I know that sounds pretty extreme, but I'm telling you, this is how people succeed or not. So anything we can do to create order, that's the theme. I think that'll be the theme for this week, and we could take it in a few different directions, is causing more production in less time and doing it in a way that's predictable. Yes, predictable. A business partner of mine and I, we put out a course a few years back designed to help people in the home business industry. And the name of the course, it was a whole study group and everything. It was called the Predictable Income Academy. And just the idea of having something predictable in a realm like, let's say, for example, you're venturing into sales and marketing for the first time. There's a whole lot of random stuff going on there, a lot of variables, right? To have a rock that you can build on, something predictable. We know this works. This right here, this is the rock. And then you can build on it from there. Any confusion you have is quelled when you start building on a known datum, let's say, like this particular known thing right here. This is the rock. And from there, I will build. If you're just floating around in random space, you got no shot. Start with one thing ostensibly that you can see objectively. Look, this is my space. This is my computer. Touch the computer. Touch the desk. Look at the chair, right? Orient yourself in present time. And now on my calendar, it says, this is the time for me to do this task. And I do it in this spot. Guys, this may sound silly. I'm letting you know, this has been extremely productive for me. And whether we know it or not, and we just kind of, proved all this with just, Adrian's example. This is what works. That's his spot. That's his stuff. This is his time. And I do see, here and there, a half naked person runs in and out of his, down the hallway or whatever, because that's his living space as well. But the point is to create order with known, stable stuff, right? This is it. I like the idea of being able to work from everywhere too. I like that. But even if I'm traveling, this is the computer that I use. I've already got all the equipment that I need, right? Internet connections and whatever it happens to be. And this is the time. It's on my calendar. In my case, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. It's not getting done. I've got something I'm working on behind the scenes for another business that I've been putting off. Sounds like a great idea. It's not on my calendar and it's not getting done. So here's my suggestion. Put on your calendar right now today, something that you're going to get done today. Pick the spot, the time, the place, everything where you're going to do it. Whether you're home, you're in your natural habitat like I am right now, or you're traveling, you got to allocate a specific finite, not infinite, finite start and stop time. That's it. That's order right there. And you're going to get addicted to this in a good way. Order. I love order. I had a little conversation with Julian the other day, my friend Julian over in the UK. A lot of my friends are in the UK these days. So Esther, did you get your son to talk to a few Brits the other day? I hope so. That's good.
Yeah, he talked to Bill.
Very good.
Yeah, thanks.
So I was showing Julie and I are bikers and we're into a lot of the same stuff. So I grabbed my computer and I was showing him my new toolbox, and here's, turn the computer around. Here's the rest of my desk. And it's like everything exactly perfect. There's the lights, there's the, the microphone and the studio monitors and all the equipment. You guys can't see that right now because it's on the other side of the camera lens, but that's how I roll. Consider that. Can you create some order in your space, even if you're working out of a bedroom like Adrian, right? That's fine. Do this right, and you'll get to the point where you'll be working out of the top floor of whatever building you enjoy in the city that you choose to live in. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. I see Yolanda and Nicola have their hands up. Let's go to Yolanda. And Yolanda, what are your thoughts on creating order and getting things done?
Hi, everybody.
There she is.
I was one of the ones who asked for more advice about this subject, because I have my calendar, I write my stuff. My problem is I don't get focused, but I don't. My apartment is very small, so 2-bedroom apartment for people living here. I'm not gonna use my bedroom as an office. I won't use my bedroom. It's for rest and for. But I take in my dining room, so everybody's around, and that's why it takes me so much to focus. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna create that purpose, and I'm gonna make it. I'm going to, when I sit here, I'm going to concentrate and to get it done.
Beautiful. And you had emailed me the other day.
Yes.
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 Right.
Asking for
So
this.
Thank you for the suggestion, because look, you're not alone. Guys, let Yolanda know she's not alone, right? We're diving into this new realm of potential productivity. Thank you, Candy. So here's potential productivity or potential pissing away time, right? Choose. I don't know, right? Well, how do we choose? This is how we choose, right? Thank you so much for that, Yolanda. Thank you for the suggestion. Let's go to Nicola Black.
Hello.
There she is.
Hi, everyone. No, I love that, John. It really resonated with me, and I think I've just been reflecting there on a couple of weeks before lockdown. I left the corporate world, which I've been in for 20 years. So your time is very much dictated through somebody else's schedule. So this is a whole new world for me, and I'm trying to set up 2 businesses as well. So without realizing, you've just helped us reflect there. I probably have set up quite a new and different way of working. And what I've found is first thing in the morning, I like to be in the office because that's when I'm most kind of switched on, and I have a real focused 2-hour kind of power hour where I need to get all the real like productive stuff done. But then what I've realized is I can't sit in the same place for too long. So I found I was getting quite stressed and anxious by the afternoon, which is pretty much what I left the corporate world for. And I thought, wait a minute, I've just transferred that into my bedroom. And that's not what I want to achieve. So what I now do is on an afternoon, I find kind of starting to understand how my mind works. I'm kind of more in the creative mode. So I find on the afternoon, I'm better at kind of learning. So I'm doing all the Amazon, like the courses on the afternoon. I'm doing all the research, product research, and I like to be in a different environment. So I come out of the office and I come and sit down in the living room. So without realizing, I think I've set a bit of a structure. So morning, there's certain tasks happen in the morning. Afternoon is more creative tasks, and I drop them in the diary so I know what I'm doing on a morning and afternoon. So that it was just really good there, just for a few minutes to reflect. So I think I have order and I have a whole new structure, and it works for me. But I do need variety. I can't sit in one office all day long. It doesn't work. But
Right. So there's a time to stop working too, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think that's it.
yeah. Hence the beauty of the word done. I love it. Done creates time. That is so good. Thank you so much, Nicola. All right, let's go to Nancy, then Caroline, then Michaela. Hey, Nancy, what's going on with you?
Perfect topic, John. Thank you so much. This is amazing because I was looking at last night what I accomplished this week in Miracle Morning, that section that's, gets you to reflect on that. And I noticed, oh my God, pretty much all of the things that I said as my goal, I had accomplished. I think I had 5 goals and they were small. I accomplished like 1.5 of those. So then it made me think, okay, what is preventing me from doing that? I just wanted to speak to, I put stuff in my calendars. I use both my phone and a hard paper calendar. But I think, John, what the problem is I'm not designating any time, right? So I'm just putting these in my calendar, and then there's no compelling reason to get it done unless there's a time frame. So I think that might be really helpful. And the other thing I wanted to say is I feel like I'm in an uphill battle because I'm not living by myself and I'm not living in my own home right now. I'm living in my parents' home and in this downstairs apartment, which is my space, which is great. But I'm living in the context of a whole bunch of people, including my son and his girlfriend right now, who nobody has any commitment to time. Like they wake up whenever, 1 o'clock. I mean, it's really, so I have to be ultra disciplined to keep my calendar, even though I'm around a whole bunch of people that have no time frames right now. So it's really, I don't know if other people are experiencing that, but that has really been hard for me because I'm also helping take care of that part of the family. And the last thing I want to say is, John, if you have any suggestions or if you could show again, like what tools you use for calendar, if you're using paper calendar or phone, and how much time you designate to create the calendar, because I could just see myself like taking 40 minutes to try to number things because I can't decide. So.
Right. Oh, we can bring that topic up this week. That's good. We can do a little demo on that. I like it. The flip side of being around people who don't have an agenda or a schedule or a purpose for getting up or doing stuff is that they're still asleep while you're working. So that's, I guess, the other side of it is, wow, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got 5 hours before anybody even stirs. Okay, sign me up for that, right? So I guess you can play it either way. Yeah, interesting. So we'll continue down this road a bit this week. Let's go to Caroline and then Michaela. Hey, Caroline. Go to Caroline, Michaela, and then Mark.
Okay. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, I love the timing of this little talk today because I literally this weekend ordered from Amazon my office organizational stuff. So I have my tray and my pencil pot and my letter thing and my other thing. And I decided it was time to get organized. So I've cleared stuff in the office because I have a spare bedroom, which is just for my office. And I've cleared stuff out, and I tend to be a bit of a paper scribbler, which I know that the information I'm taking notes on is somewhere, but it could be in one of like 6 places. So today I've been consolidating, going through all my little pads of paper, scraps of paper, and putting them into like 1 or 2 key books that I'm going to use as my sort of day-to-day journal books. But I really do need to get some online calendar management going on because I can prioritize, but I'm a bit of a paper and pen kind of girl. But often I find I'm busy and productive, but I'm kind of winging it. I get to the end of the day and think, God, I've done loads, but I didn't actually do it according to a plan. And I think that's where I need to definitely make improvements.
Okay. Well, very good. And we will, do you use a Mac or a PC?
I've got a Mac.
Okay. And do you have an iPhone as well?
No, I have an Android, a Huawei. Okay.
So one of the things that I do, because the technology has come up twice now in the last 5 minutes, is I just use the calendar, iCal, right? Mm-hmm. And it synchronizes with my iPhone. And I do have other business stuff that happens like on Google Calendar and whatever, but all of those accounts are accessible on one calendar. Oh, okay. There's the ancient proverb from Asia. It said, the man with 1 clock knows what time it is. The man with 2 clocks is never quite sure. So one central thing that does all, kind of like the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all, right?
Yeah.
So one, which can, branch out into all different directions. But in the case of any Mac users, you've got built right into the operating system, a very powerful calendar which also has attachments. Here's the email from the guy, and here's the reminder, and here's the link to the website, and you know,
Yeah.
so it all kind of ends up right there.
So I need to explore that.
Right.
Definitely.
Plus, with Siri, you can talk. Siri, set an appointment for 2
Okay.
o'clock with Bob Smith, right? And boom, there it is.
And it goes into your iCalendar.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. Well, maybe
Wow.
it's time for me to get a new phone. If I get an iPhone, then it'll be a much simpler job. I'll just rely on
Yeah.
that one calendar.
Yeah, and I know, and this isn't an argument for Apple for or against, but I've been in the Mac iOS ecosystem for a decade plus. Ever since, you know what got me out of PCs? Windows Vista. You guys remember Windows?
Oh God, yeah, it's terrible, wasn't it?
Right. That was it. That was the last straw. Windows Vista. That's it. I'm switching to Mac. So, all right. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you, John. Thank
Let's
you.
go to Michaela and then Mark and then Kuya. Hey, Michaela. Michaela.
Hi, John.
There she
Hi,
is.
Joel. I just wanted to, this is my first sort of real time speaking, but I just wanted to say that what you said earlier was so how I've been, John. I've been in this process now for 2 weeks, and like everybody else, I feel so overwhelmed with information. And in my normal day-to-day life, I'm my team that I actually take care of, they say that I'm anal, I'm OCD, I'm too expectant of things to be done correctly. I'm always on time, and I'm just always on the ball. But with this course, I found towards the end of last week, I was sort of losing the control of it. And what I found is that every night I'm on here and I'm hearing words, and I'm thinking, I don't know what that is. So I jot the word down, and then I'm becoming distracted, because then when I'm supposed to be doing my study and my training, I'm on Google finding out what is pay-per-click, what is AX10, what is this, what, you know. And so at the weekend, I said to my husband, right, I'm shutting myself away. I've got too many notes. I'm just in a mess, and I need to get straight. And so I've done, I think, what the rest have done, and I've just got myself organised, and I've now gone through my notes. I've scribbled the ones out that I don't need now. There's still a lot of words that, you know, a lot of things that I don't know, but it's true. You just have to refocus. Just take your time, find your space. I shut myself away in here. Find your space, zone out, and just get yourself straight. And I feel better. I feel better for it.
Fantastic, Michaela. When you feel good, you do good. So well done on confronting that and getting some order in there. That's beautiful. Let's go to Mark. Excuse me, Mark, and then Kuya, and then Virginia. Hey, Mark.
Hey, John. How are you? Hey, everybody.
Doing good.
One of the things that I've had to do, I have a disabled spouse. So not only do I have to set my time up to work here in the office on my program, but I have to set time to complete life. I have to do the shopping, the cleaning, the lawn mowing. You know, I have all tasks. So what I did was I just created a little simple spreadsheet. It's a daily checklist. Anything business related, anything I need to do, I put specific times on there. And then anything in life I put on there. And one advantage I like about that is I left a blank column on the end, and I can check off things as I do them. And so first thing in the morning, I might just grab some low-hanging fruit, knock out 3 items. So I've got 3 little check marks. So then as I'm fixing to do something else, I'll glance over at my daily checklist, and I'm like, ooh, I got something accomplished. Let me pick another one. It just kind of motivates me to get those check marks every day. And, you know, I kind of prioritize on the fly, except for my specific items that are time listed. For example, this meeting is time listed. And, you know, it just kind of really helps me get through the day that way, and I get everything accomplished.
Fantastic. I do exactly the same thing. Man, right there, what Mark just said. So we got prioritization, and then we have time-bound appointments, if you will. So these are you know, priorities, and these are scheduled, right? And we kind of bounce across those 2 different things. I like the idea of low-hanging fruit. this is, wow, this is good insights, you guys. Thank you so much. Let's go to Kuya and then Virginia and then Regina and Joe. Hey, Kuya. Where's Kuya? Let me unmute your microphone. Oh, I just muted you. All right, unmute. Go ahead. Sorry, we're both clicking your mute button at the same time. Kuya, please. Okay. I will unmute your microphone. It is now unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, and hi everybody. I'm very much a morning person, so my best time for working is the morning. And as I work full time, in order to fit everything in, I'm now getting up at 3:45 in the morning because I have to, fit in my meditation and everything else, you know. And I've always got up early, but it was 4 o'clock before, and I thought, really, can I do 3:45? Of course I can. So yeah, that time is kind of fairly scheduled now. I'm going to work, and I hate being late for things. I just am not. I have to be early or on time at the very, very worst. I cannot be late. It just does my head in. So yeah. So then I go to work, and then I've got an evening slot where I can do some work. And you know, I come straight home from work and come on this call, and this is wonderful. And since I just called, I got the books, read the books. One I did was Miracle Morning, and I love my journal. Here it is. I don't know if you can see that. Miracle Morning Journal. I love ticking things off. So I've got everything written down that I'm going to do for the week and for the day, and it gets ticked off as I do it. And then there's a bit at the bottom. It's not got much space in it, but that's not a bad thing actually, because it makes you concentrate on what you really need to get done. So yes, this is my favourite thing. And I find writing down is actually really quite helpful. It's better for me than actually putting it and typing it. Somehow it kind of sticks in my brain if I write it. It's a bit like writing the jet stream things. It makes things click somehow, you know, which typing doesn't really seem to do for me. So that's really most of what I wanted to say. And I've now got my Amazon Seller account that weekend.
Awesome. Well done, Kuya. She's got her seller's account. She is ready to rock. Let's go to Virginia, then Regina, and then Therese. Hey, Virginia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, this is really interesting because every once in a while I tune into this. I tune into it almost daily, but every once in a while we're talking about a topic that I'm working on. So actually, as I've got 2 computers going here, I have this little tiny one here, and I've got my laptop, and I have my workspace. And yes, I'm trying to get more organized. So as I'm laying out my plan for the week, I thought, well, I put everything in Outlook calendar for work. Why don't I just add it to there? Because yes, I have too many clocks. I don't know what time it is. I have too many calendars. I have things in too many places as far as what's happening when. So with my Outlook, I can access that from any of the computers, from my iPhone as well. So that's actually what I'm working on right now. I'm putting in all my AX10 stuff and all the times, and then private, so that no one else who shares my calendar through work can see those. But then I also, because I do still work full time, I still have my work in there so that my boss can see where I am, when I am, because I do home visits and things. So just wanted to share that I will print this out every week. So I will carry around a paper copy because I'm also very paper, you know, I want to just see it. And, but I figured, oh my gosh, why keep writing it down every week? I can just put it in Outlook, put it for the total time frame, put it private and busy, and you know, then I know what slots are available. And then I'm going to designate my slots as either my day job slots or my my business slots for my personal business. And then I have a weekly, that 12-week planning, 12-week year as to what I have to accomplish this week. And so those will go in those time slots that I know I'm focusing on my business. So I'm working on it right now on my other calendar.
Fantastic.
Right here.
Here it is. That'll do.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So if there's a question about, what do you call it? Technology, like what technology is the best? The answer is the one that you'll use. So I remember when I was, I got into astronomy, right? I was going to go buy a telescope. I live in Arizona. It's the desert, right? Look at the stars. Great. So, and I said to the guy, what's the best telescope? He said, the one you'll use, right? You get this big monstrosity and you got to take an hour and a half to set it up and you never drag it out. Right? Get the smaller one. It's half the price. That's fine. So the one you'll use. Let's go to Regina and Joe. Where's my friends Regina and Joe?
Hi, John. Hi, everybody. Happy week. I just wanted to share that I'm a little bit more of a paper person as well.
Mhm.
And I kind of get scared when everything's on the computer because God forbid something were to go down, I've lost everything without some kind of a backup. You know, I feel like I need some kind of a backup thing. So I do have a calendar and we do have our definite time slots, like my time with Sophie, my time with you. That's times that we can't do this because we have that. And it's amazing how you just lock it in. You know, it's like, can't do anything that day. That's what I'm doing. And sorry, I'm busy. But I noticed recently I've been trying to catch up and trying to do these extra classes and these extra research. And I'm not marking them down because I'm just not quite sure where to go and how to go about it. And I find out that I've lingered and I'm just like drifting. And it's kind of like I'm floating on a cloud and I don't know where I am, where I'm not, how I am. And I look at my thing at the end of the day and I go, oh, I didn't accomplish everything on my list, you know, and it's just like so frustrating. Sometimes just going through the emails. I mean, if I could shut emails off, that'd be amazing. But every day we got to go through and delete all this nonsense email. So that alone takes time and you have to kind of schedule it in. But I think writing things down, I'd like to learn how to do more on the computer. If I can get my computer organized as an office, that would be amazing. If you have any help on that, like how maybe we can organize and what department and how to fix it up on the computer to make that my mobile office, I would really appreciate that help because I'm so lost on that department. And
Okay.
thanks again for making this the subject of the day. It's a hot one.
Oh, thank you. So glad you're here. Good to see you as well, Joe. Always a pleasure. Very good. Let's go to Therese, then Leah and Stuart, then Ego. Therese.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Hope you had a nice weekend. Interesting topic, as I took the weekend off completely from everything, and it was hard to do. And then the first day was really hard to do. And then, of course, the second day I like rolled, you know, I was like, okay, we're just taking it off. I didn't do anything. I think the only thing I did was read. And that was because I had my phone with me. So when I had like little breaks of time, you know, maybe waiting for food to be delivered at my outside seat, I would read. But, and I have to say that I woke up this morning feeling very disconnected, uncertain, and oh my God, why did you do that? And all of all of that. But Friday in the morning, I was like, there were so many things happening and invitations, and I was just like, let go. You can take a weekend off and have some fun and have it unstructured. And so I did, and now I have to pull back in. And so I'm so happy I'm on the call because I'm gonna, when I get off, I'm gonna go right to my calendar and schedule it. I'd have to say that because I traveled so much on the road and I worked for so many different companies, everybody used a different calendar. So my world's always sort of been a little chaotic with calendars, electronic calendars. So I've always carried a paper calendar because, you know, if I was on the road, I could reach over, see where I needed to be at what time, et cetera, et cetera. But I also like the paper calendar because I could, you know, visited that store, highlighted it, I'm moving on to the next store. Made my notes in the side column of what needed to happen. So it was always, because I was on the run, I was in the habit of using paper, and I had very little time to transfer to electronic. So I too am also training myself to use more electronic, but feel very attached to the paper for a visual reason. And so I'd say with all of, with everything that's going on within Blue Sky, I think for me, it's more of in my notebook. Every morning, I just do bullet points. This is what I'm achieving. And I usually just write it in a row. And then again, I like to highlight it. That done, that check mark means so much to me. Today's going to be a little bit of a struggle, I have to admit, because I slept in, I haven't run, I feel really sluggish and slow. My head is still lingering on all of the fun I had all weekend. And I think just to put it out there, my goal, of course, right now is to stop beating myself up for taking the whole weekend off, get focused on if I can achieve 2 big things that are on my list, I'll be really happy with that. And then tomorrow I'll restructure. So I guess I also want to speak to, you know, there's also a lot of it's healthy to have a balance with the things that you do in life, because so many of those things really make you happy. I mean, so you can't completely shove the rest of your life out of your picture and, add them into your calendar. So anyway, thank you. It's nice to
Thank
see
you,
everyone.
Therese. And glad you had a great Independence Day weekend. So did I. It was very nice. Very good. Let's go to Leah, Stewart, Ego, and then Moeed, and then we got to wrap up because we are at 45 minutes past. Hey, Leah and Stewart.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hope you guys
Very
had a great
good.
weekend. Great topic today, John. I had a couple things to say about that. I'm sure that most of you guys would agree. I feel that there is a direct relationship between my inner space and my outer space. And when my office is disorganized, I feel disorganized in my head. I can't kind of get a grip on what I need to do. And sometimes before I sit down to have what I would like to be a productive work session, I'll clean my space and make sure that my workspace is clear and organized, and then I feel much more organized in my head. And I'm sure you guys would probably agree with that. I do something with my workspace, and maybe some of you guys do as well. I try to turn my workspace into, let's say, a magical talisman, as far as just a place of power, right? That when I sit down in my workspace, that this is my magical, creative, productive space. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do that with all kinds of things. And if you imbue something, with a certain sense or feeling that when you sit down at your workspace, then stuff gets done. At least that helps me. And then I wanted to echo what I think it was Caroline and Michaela were talking about in terms of having notes everywhere. And we all, we go through these modules and we take all these notes. I had notebooks full of notes, as I'm sure that many of you folks have as well. And a few weeks ago, I literally took my whole stack of notebooks and I went through all of them and I rewrote all of my notes. And I really just, not only did it help me get organized in my head, but it really helped crystallize all the information that we were learning in the modules. And so I don't know if anybody's done that, but just, going back to the beginning and really looking over all of it and rewriting it all, there's power in that. And I think that there's another way to learn stuff, right? When you go through something once, and then when you go back over it again and you write it down, the more senses you can engage in that learning process, I think has been really helpful to me. Everybody, have a great day.
Thank you, brother. Beautiful stuff. Let's go to Ego and then Moeed, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Hey, Ego.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. So like you, Therese, I actually did take the weekend off, but I don't feel guilty. My husband's American, so we took the weekend off. I feel great for it. I would like to echo what everyone else has said around being organized. I'm actually quite organized. I live by calendars. I do take a lot of notes, but at the same time, every hour of my day is accounted for. I'm a morning person like you, Nicholas. So I don't have any interruptions whatsoever in the mornings. My emails are checked in the afternoon. It can wait. And fortunately, my husband and son know that once I'm in this area, which is my den, they don't come up to bother me. So I'm quite fortunate there. But the other thing I wanted to say with regards to technology is, so I use Google Calendar, and it's very well integrated with Tasks, which is one of Google's products, and Reminder. So, we have the home speakers. And because I have everything I need to do set up in either my Reminder, Calendar, or Task with priorities, once I finish my morning block, and whilst I'm having lunch, I say, to my speaker, okay, Google, what's on this afternoon? And then it gives me my priorities, my P1 items first. And then I know as soon as I'm done, it's actually responding to me now. But anyway, I have it such that, I'm able to use the tech, the tools that I have to help me be more focused and productive.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And you got all this systemized, and what a beautiful space you're in there. You've got the couch or the sofa, if you will. You got
the sofa, yes.
Very nice.
And no one comes up here, just me.
That's right. That's very good. Thank you, Ego. We're going to wrap up with Moeed today, and congratulations to Adrian, who's about to sell out of his first product. Well done, Adrian. Moeed, take us home. Moeed, what's going on?
Hi, everybody. Wonderful topic again. And because I'm the last one giving some input, I always try to keep my input as brief as possible. So I'll quickly share my workspace with you. It's so good to have a family which is sitting around so many countries, so many places, different time spans. So just to show you the cozy space that I'm using for my work, you might be thinking it's an office, which it is not. So this workspace is what I'm using for my work. This is you. And it's a tiny space from my living room, basically. So that's what I'm using as a workspace.
Very nice. And aesthetic, right? Aesthetics are nice. So you've got very pleasing.
And about planning, I would just like to show one thing which I've just added in this workspace is this whiteboard. So, and there are some features which are transforming every information that we're getting in these classes and in the books that you suggested. And those books give you some ideas, and I transform those ideas into these these things which you get very cheap online. So basically, I just wanted to share with my this virtual family the workspace I'm using, and I'm learning from these classes. So that's the best thing. The second thing which I would like to share, people were discussing different methodologies that you use to organize your work daily. I use different technologies. I have been experimenting with them. The latest one is this Smart Pen. This is from LiveScribe. There are so many other brands. You can write on a paper, which is a specialized copy that comes with it. You can buy it online. Once you write with this pen, it is stored in the pen and it is transferred to your mobile phone. Whatever you're writing, the numbers are transformed into, contacts and things. And there are so many. iPad has a note-taking facility as well in it now. So everything you are doing, I experiment because I tend to change things so that I get motivated to work. And this motivation keeps on changing with the workspace. I wonder how you read minds. Only this morning, me and my wife went to Sainsbury, which is a local store here, and I picked up a few small these pots. And she was wondering why I'm doing it, because we have these already. I just wanted to change a few things in my office so that I get motivated to do work more time in the office. So the reason I'm sharing is that, yeah, it is a tiny space. It's a 2-bedroom flat. There are people living around me as well. And this workspace, and one more thing is, because you can't cancel noise around you, so I have added a few things to cancel noise and just admit the noise of my choice in my ears when I'm working. So these are a few things which I wanted to share. About planning the day, I always start my day by writing today's tasks. So I write 4 or 5 tasks every day in my diary that I have to do this. And astonishingly speaking, every evening when I review those 5 points, I have only done 2 of them. And then I start listing what else did I do other than these 5 things. So there's a list of things which I have done which were not listed in the morning. So yeah, these are my inputs. Just wanted to share this space with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moeed. Thank you so much for sharing your space and your perspectives and your technology. This is awesome. We're gonna continue our conversation tomorrow. And in the meantime, you guys, thank you for participating. It is always good to see you all in our virtual family, as Moeed put it. I'll look forward to being back here with you tomorrow. So make it a great evening, you guys, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
John.
Bye, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.